Hi, guys, and welcome back to ARMBAR. We are doing now the NXT recap. It's going to be Asuka versus Cameron. Cameron was trying to rebrand herself, and, well, Asuka came out to be the victor in this match.
Did you get to watch NXT, Tony?
I watched a little bit of it. Man, she just has some powerful roundhouse kicks.
It's crazy, man.
Asuka, dude, she just dominated that match. Did you see that counter to that slap?
Dude, the counter that impressed me was the armbar counter.
Yeah, that's the one I was saying.
Yeah,
like she tried to slap her and then just armbar. It was amazing.
It was quick, and it looked like I was telling Isaac on the right over here because we talk a lot about wrestling, right?
Yeah, every day.
Every day that it looked like she was doing a Hurricane Rana on her arm or something like that. And it ended up in the armbar. Kind of like Alberto Del Rio's, how he kind of does a little flip. Roll-up. But it's kind of like a weird like flip, but it looked like kind of like a tornado. So I was like, whoa. I really liked that. I really like that they're pushing Asuka as well. Cameron, I didn't recognize her at first. Different outfit, different hair. You saw purple hair and purple outfit, and
at least they're trying to utilize her.
Yeah, I mean, she's trying. Like I said, she's trying to rebrand herself. She's trying to make a name for herself, and I mean, who knows where? I mean, the Divas division there. I mean, they have Bailey, right? Bailey's their champion, right? Bailey, and of course you got who else is on that show? Everyone else is gone already. Right? Sasha Banks is gone. Eva Marie's back. We'll talk about that.
In France.
Alexa Bliss, who's self-titling herself as the number one contender, and Emulation, Emma, Nia Jax, couple of upcoming divas. So who knows where this is gonna lead, guys?
Yeah, I love Nia Jax.
All right, guys, remember that was a good match, though. I have to give 5 gloves to Asuka right there.
Yeah, so
no gloves, Cameron.
So going forward, we're gonna go to Bull Dempsey versus Angelo Dawkins. Really a squash match. Bull Dempsey, he changed his song. I don't know what's going on there.
It was so weird. Like I'm so used to.
I missed the old song. Yeah.
Bull, and now you're like, there's nothing there.
They still have the little whole bull thing there, but I'm just like, what's going on there? Angelo Dawkins is a guy that I've been since I've had the WWE Network. Okay, for more than a year already. He's a guy that I've seen several times on NXT. He's a pretty big guy. I want to say he's maybe like 6'6", 6'7", close to maybe like 270, 260, maybe a little lighter than that. Big guy. I've seen him in a couple matches, and he's honestly not bad, but he just doesn't have a gimmick. As a wrestler, he's not bad though.
Wrestling is his gimmick.
I mean, pretty much like I say, it was a squash match. He put over Bull Dempsey. And I don't know where they're going. Bull Dempsey was promoting his new Bull Fit on his jersey, not his jersey, his outfit, his onesie, as I like to call it.
You know what Bull Dempsey reminds me of? I mean, forgive me if I sound crude on this one, but he looks like one of those meat cutters at a meat market.
Oh my god!
Does he look like?
He just needs the hat. Yeah.
Does he look like one of those guys like at the slaughterhouse?
Hey man, give him the Husky Harris gimmick.
He looks like one of those guys like, okay, I'll cut your meat for you. He looks like a Paulie from Rocky. I don't know.
You know what? And the thing with the whole Bull Dempsey gimmick is I really liked him at the beginning because he was real.
He reminded me of Rhino.
Yeah, he was one of those characters. Yeah. He's not a small guy, but he's not huge either. But he's like right in the middle where he could be a powerhouse if he wanted to be. But what really killed his push, I think, was Baron Corbin. Once those two guys started feuding, Corbin made him look just like a puppy, basically. In their match, they had good matches though. There's several good matches between those
really
two.
Good matches.
But they were short also at the same time, where Corbin just made Dempsey look bad, and I guess maybe that's why. Dempsey had to go back into development, start training again. Got to lose that weight, obviously, because he wasn't in shape. He was eating those hot Cheetos and whatever was going on over there. But do you want to go on to that next match, Isaac? We got some diva action.
So the next match was Eva Marie versus Harley. A squash match trying to make Eva look good. Harley put on, she was a local competitor, but I thought it was
well, you know what?
Harley did well.
She did well, yeah. So I'm like, who is this? Yeah.
Eva was just... I don't know if you noticed this, but at one point, like, she did like a corner kick, and they actually had to change the camera angles to make it look good.
Yeah, it was.
And like, you could hear the crowd chanting, like, "What was that? What was that?" So it was just like, I mean, I guess they're trying to push Eva Marie. They're still trying to save her as a wrestler. In my opinion, just make her a ring announcer, just like a backstage personality, because do what they're doing with Rosa Mendes, because she's had her time to prove herself. In the ring. She's been training with Brian Kendrick, getting special treatment. And it's obvious she's not growing, so I think it's just best to like cut their losses.
What do you think there, Tony? Before we cut off to that next match.
Well, Harley, I think she just might as well have been just a jobber for.
Well, she was.
Yeah, I know
for
she was
match,
pretty much a jobber for.
But I was
Eva
impressed.
Marie. Yeah, Eva Marie should just be like she should just do Cody Rhodes' wife's job. She's better off doing that. I'm telling you.
She could be a good media figurehead, but as a
I rather
wrestler,
do that.
no.
Yeah, as a wrestler, I just can't see her. I could just see her doing interviews in the locker room or something. I don't know.
She just doesn't have that natural talent, the natural ability that we see
What
in
is
some
it,
of
the
these
red
stars.
glowing hair?
I mean, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. She's probably the one. I mean, a top 2-3 beautiful diva on the roster next to Paige.
But she has like no talent.
No talent in the ring. I mean,
and here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing. It's not like guys like Ryback where they've been in the WWE for over 10 years.
10 years since development.
You know, she's been at this for like 3 years, 4 years in a row already, and she hasn't grown or improved, dude.
It's just not showing any training, any skill set that she is trying to develop in the ring.
She's gotten
nothing.
special training from like Brian Kendrick, and it's like, what? Like, what are you doing?
All right, so go ahead, Tony. Let's go on to the main event.
We're going to main event. Apollo Crews versus Finn Balor. Well, the match ends up being a DQ from Baron Corbin through the interference. Samoa Joe comes out, helps Balor, and then turns on him, turns heel. And, you know, I was actually expecting, Samoa Joe to turn heel because his eyes were on that championship in the beginning. He didn't get a chance to win the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's got more experience than Balor because I think Samoa Joe deserves to be champion. And I think he deserves to be bigger than just NXT champion. I think he's just being the main roster. I think it's an insult for Samoa Joe, an icon like him, to be in the minor leagues where he should be already in the big leagues. Because, come on, man. Balor, that's a joke. I mean, I hate to say it. Whether he's face or heel, Samoa Joe deserves to be champion, regardless.
I have to say this, though, because if you didn't notice it, Samoa Joe didn't want to do that. He didn't want to turn on Balor, but he felt like he had no other choice. He was pulling Kevin Owens where he's going to attack the champion and basically provoke a match. But to me, it felt like, you could see it in his eyes, you could see it in his expression, like, you made me do this, or like, you know, why, you know, I don't want to do this to you. Like, he looked really pained in his expression.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really good, nice bit of storytelling there, that, you know, he wants to, you know, be there supportive of Balor, but at the same time, he wants to get that title shot. He wants to move up, you know? He doesn't want to just be the friend of the champion, because Finn Balor, in my opinion, he's been a great champion. He's a really great wrestler, and from what I've seen, the stuff with Bullet Club and New Japan as Fergal Devitt, he's really, really good.
Yeah, I know.
So he's really good technically, but Samoa Joe has been at this way longer.
Yeah, he's a lot older than him.
And I've been saying this to Mike, like, you know, he should already be in the main roster. You know, he should be, you know, muscle busting fools on SmackDown, even if it's that. But I don't know what's gonna happen here, but I'm very excited for the storyline. Hopefully, it leads into a fatal 4-way with Crews, Corbin, Joe, and Finn. But all right, let's move on here.
Yeah.
So, dirt sheets. As we already know, we've already know that Seth Rollins is injured. He's out for the next 9 months.
That was the biggest news of this
Huge
week,
news.
actually. Huge news.
Now, WWE is starting to call in some pretty big names now, trying to get into filling the spot, because essentially they're just in panic mode right now.
Yeah.
So, one of the big names that they're thinking about reaching out to, Goldberg.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I didn't grow up with Goldberg. I didn't, you know, grow up with the whole streak or everything like that.
Oh,
but,
man. It was
those
glory.
were the good old days.
That was a good old day right there.
But
Believe that.
from watching his matches, I don't want it back. He can't wrestle. I'm sorry, but he can't wrestle. Maybe like 2 or 3 minute squash matches, but he can. I saw his match with Regal where they tried to prove, he can wrestle. That was a bad match.
I
Regal
mean,
doesn't have bad
Come on,
matches.
everybody wore the Goldberg shirt. Come on, you wore the Goldberg shirt.
yeah, I
I
even
bought the
watched
Goldberg underwear.
I even watched the Monster Truck Goldberg thing going on with that. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with you, Isaac. I guess growing up, you don't really pay attention to all the technicality that goes into wrestling, the moves, how they build up characters, etc. So, you know, me and Tony were kids when, you know, Goldberg was around. So, as a pre-adolescent, you know, at the time, I think it was like the late 90s, right? We were maybe like 12, 13 years old. Seeing stuff like that during the NWO era when you had the Hogan, the Nashes, and you had this guy Goldberg who was basically like their savior, aside from Sting also, but
he was like the Ultimate Warrior.
He was like the Ultimate Warrior of WCW, and regardless whether he had a limited moveset going with him, and I don't know if you want to compare him to maybe John Cena with those little
but
5 moves of doom, right?
I compare him more to Ryback.
So maybe that's why when Ryback wrestles, they compare him so much to Goldberg, and you hear those Goldberg chants, right?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think Goldberg has more. I think he has more of a better cardiovascular than Ryback.
He's a football player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If anything, I will say this: he's much more athletic and has more agility than Ryback, or maybe some big wrestlers of the day. But that doesn't necessarily equate to wrestling skill, at least in my opinion.
I think he has more stamina than Ryback. Because Ryback, he gets too tired quickly.
Yeah, he gasses out a lot.
Yeah.
He's known to injure people too. So.
Yeah, CM Punk with a Gorilla Press Slam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Any more on those dirt sheets, Isaac?
All right, so moving on here.
Dirt sheets.
Dirt sheet roundups. So,
anything else going on though?
Tatanka and Superstar Billy Graham have signed WWE Legends contracts. So, we're going to be seeing those two pretty soon back on WWE television. Who knows? Maybe in the Hall of Fame ceremony for WrestleMania 31 or 32.
Wait, I think
Billy Graham's in. I don't know if Tatanka's in.
Tatanka, I don't think so.
I think Tatanka is already in, actually.
Well, either way, they're going to be doing a lot of promotional material because it's been a while since we've seen guys from that era like on WWE TV.
I mean, where's Sergeant Slaughter? Where's Pat Patterson?
Where's the WWE commissioner? Jim Hurd.
Gorilla Monsoon.
Okay, guys, you remember we were watching last year? I don't know if you guys watched it last year. Legends, WWE Legends on the house. When are they gonna do part 2? It was supposed to happen. Hulk Hogan was supposed to happen, but ever since he did something that he wasn't supposed to, they erased him on that one. And I heard some big news. Speaking of Hulk Hogan, Sylvester Stallone wants to put Hulk Hogan in Expendables 4 as a villain.
Whoa.
Hulk Hogan. Heel. Now, yes. The reason being is because Hogan hasn't been getting any business lately, only at his shop in Tampa, Florida at Hogan's Beach House. So Stallone gave him a call and said, hey, look, this can help you boost your career, help you, reinvent things, help you out, help you with your, fix the cracks. And Hogan is actually reconsidering a deal with Sylvester Stallone and being a heel for the next Expendables movie. It's supposed to come out in a couple of years.
All right, last bit of info. There might be a heel turn at Survivor Series. Not from who you'd think, though. So I'm going to give your guys your predictions before I reveal the name.
I think it's going to be Dean Ambrose is going to turn on Roman Reigns.
Dolph Ziggler? I have no clue.
What if I told you Roman Reigns was going to be the heel?
Wow.
Yes, I noticed that since the Usos are back now.
So what I'm thinking, personally, is that they're probably going to try to emulate something like Mankind versus The Rock. Mankind's like this corporate champion or whatever. Or like, at least how I see it, Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns in the final. They're going to be all brotherly. And then, it's going to get down to the nitty-gritty of the match, right? Maybe Sheamus is going to come in and cash in, whatever. And then Dean's going to beat him down. But then you're going to see, I guess, Reigns do something really dastardly, or you're going to see Reigns do something really like sly, and then basically become the new corporate champion, the Authority. And you're going to have Seth running around even angry or even more mad because his other brother betrayed him, leading up to a feud between the two. But I have to say, I'm looking forward to this if this happens. I want to see a heel Roman Reigns champion.
Me too.
I've seen him as a heel in the NXT when he was leaky. And he has the personality for it. He has a very Hollywood personality, kind of like The Rock. And I think he's a very natural heel, in my opinion.
Do you think Seth Rollins is going to come out being a face when he comes back from injury?
I don't think so.
I think so, yeah.
I honestly want to see him come back, maybe getting cheered like a face, but then still come back like a whiny edge heel. Except this time actually win matches.
Okay, well, think about it this way. Okay, you remember when Triple H tore his ACL, right? Yeah. And then he came back, and people cheered for him. So
yeah, but he was still a heel.
But regardless, they were just so happy to have him back because they bring so much to the table when it comes to putting on that show. So I really feel it's going to be something reminiscent of that. of people starting
Yeah.
to like Rollins, and Rollins being a face for at least a little bit.
Well, people
Just
have
like CM
always
Punk,
liked
yeah.
Rollins. People have always liked Rollins. That's the thing. Nobody has ever seriously booed him. At least in my opinion, because he panders to the crowd way too much to be a good heel.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to see him come back maybe as a tweener, maybe as like, a slimy heel, kind of like Edge, but I don't see him being a face for any time soon. But I do, if he does come back as a face, I'm very excited for that. But right now, I still think that they should be focusing their main efforts on top face of the company to someone like Dean Ambrose. All right, that's all for Dirt Sheet Roundup. So we're going to do a really quick segment called Superstar of the Week here. Talk about a wrestler. Maybe for about 5 minutes, maybe their highlights, memories of him, just trying to get fill in time before the show closes. So, wrestler of the week, none other than Seth Rollins. Guy's been injured, so I figured it's just appropriate. Maybe open up the segment. In my opinion, one of the best WWE champions of the past 5 years.
5 years, 80s, 90s, or today?
No, past 5 years, like just the past 5 years, like 2010, 2015. He's been a great champion.
In general, though, you can talk about any wrestler that you want, past, present, or current, whatever.
Well,
I mean, like, Seth Rollins is my wrestler of the week, just because.
Boo. Oh, yeah, you just said no one boos him. I'm booing him. Boo.
Oh, come on. Well, I think he's just been killing it on the mic. He's just been killing it on the show. He's a really great talker. He's a really great heel, and he just has some really, really slimy moments that get you to hate him. Not just quite like. I don't know if you remember the night Cena brought the Authority back. He was like, I swear to God, John, I'm going to do it. I'm going to kill Edge. And it was just so crazy to me because it's like, oh my gosh, like I'd never seen anybody stoop this low.
Except Edge.
Yeah, I know, right?
Edge
you have to think. I remember Edge tweeted something out that night. It's like, I got to say, if it was me back in the day, I would have done the same thing. Good job.
Exactly.
okay, I got one. CM Punk.
Oh, man. We all miss him.
I'm gonna tell you, he had two really good moves. I love the GTS, and I actually have his DVD. And he has the Anaconda Vice. What I like about CM Punk, he was like sarcastic, but he had a point to back himself up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he did. He had Paul Heyman on his side. He was champion for 434 days. Yes, he did whatever it takes to win. I mean, to me, I thought, man, I loved him as a heel or face. I mean,
Yeah.
I like the fact, he would, him and John Cena would go backstage, and I remember he did like the GTS to him and hit him with John Cena hit his forehead against a car, the bumper of the car. I thought that was pretty cool. I like the romance with AJ Lee, and now they end up being married, and with Kane and Daniel Bryan. I like the fact that he would win almost every Money in the Bank match. And when he started with ECW, I thought that was awesome. And he was champion in almost every single championship opportunity. I think that was awesome.
He was never a tag champion, though.
Yes, he was.
Really?
Yeah, he was with Kofi Kingston.
Wow.
Yes, he was tag champion with Kofi Kingston. He held the Intercontinental Championship from William Regal.
Never U.S. title, though.
No, never U.S. title. I'm sorry. Never U.S. title. He had the World Heavyweight Championship from both parties. And, yeah, he would cash it in at the end. I know he's fought Jeff Hardy. I love the rivalry with Jeff Hardy. The straight edge versus... And yes, Jeff Hardy was a drug addict, alcoholic. He was a substance abuser. Mm-hmm. So I like the storyline they were portraying. Him looking like Jesus at the time.
Oh, yeah. I remember the Straight Edge Society.
Yeah, the Straight Edge Society. I love that.
I remember that.
And
great.
Him being the leader of the Nexus, and then him giving that pipe bomb. That was the most historic things in wrestling. Now, after that, everybody's like killing it and overusing it ever since he established it. But
it's happened a couple times.
Yeah. And him as a champion, I love the fact he did a pile driver to John Cena during that championship match. And he took a risk. Even though he got heat for it, he did it anyway. And that's what I loved about CM Punk.
Yeah, he had a very no-care attitude.
Yeah.
And, I honestly miss that in the ring. Like, even though he's kind of a jerk outside of the ring from what I hear, I think he's very sorely missed in the company.
Yeah.
Mike, what about you? You're a wrestler of the week.
Sorry about that, fellas. I was fixing one of the cameras here. If you guys are listening to us, just remember that we do post our weekly radio show on our podcast on YouTube. So check that out on our Facebook page. Don't forget that we have our facebook.com/UTPA armbar, and our Twitter handle is UTPA_armbar. So the tags were from when me and Isaac were, still at the university, because we're alumni now, right? Last semester, guys. I got about a month ago. So, anywho, so my top pick of the week. Okay, I know you guys were, you're going with Seth Rollins, going with CM Punk, and I definitely agree. Those are two great guys. Seth Rollins current, CM Punk past, going into his UFC days now. But mine and I'm going to have a friend that's going to disagree with me on this one here. Maybe you guys also. But my superstar of the week is Tyler Breeze. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one's good too.
And not because of what he's done in the ring so far on the main roster, but because I loved him in NXT, basically.
I honestly thought he deserved the NXT championship at least once.
I love the gimmick. Yeah, I hate that he didn't win.
Him and Tyson Kidd.
Yeah, I hate that they never really pushed it. He was, the number one contender several times, and he got a shot against guys like Neville, and they were great matches. I mean,
totally.
Those were matches that just, left you like, wow, like, these are guys that are just going to perform in the future and just impress the heck out of us. And like Tony's been saying, the Tyler Breeze and the Dolph Ziggler feud, it's going to happen. Can't wait to see what leads up there. You can say that Ziggler's more of a veteran now.
Yeah,
he's been in the business also
like
as long as 8-9 years. When his Spirit Squad days.
That's about 10 almost. Yeah, 9 years.
So looking back on that, I think that Tyler Breeze has a bright future ahead of him. I know a lot of people might not like the selfie stick pretty boy gimmick.
Oh, I think it's great.
But I love it. I love the fact that he's sitting in the ring with his beat up opponent, taking pictures of himself with his pretty girlfriend, Summer Rae. So lots to come from there. But any thoughts on that, guys, before we move on to Tony's terminology?
I think these are all pretty solid picks.
Yeah. I think we all did good.
All right, Tony, I hope you have some great terminology for us this week.
All right, guys. For anybody that doesn't know much about wrestling terminology, well, today's terminology is called mid-carder. Now, a mid-carder is basically a wrestler between a higher level and a lower level in main eventing. And basically, it's typically in the middle. Actually, it's often competing for a secondary title in the federation. Guys like Kofi Kingston, Santino Marella, you're talking Jack Swagger. All those guys are mid-carders. They all held a mid-card title. Mid-card title is basically a second-rate champion, like the Intercontinental Championship, the U.S. Championship. It could be the Cruiserweight or the Tag Team Championships. Those are mid-card championship guys. The ones that really never hit the big one. Usually, sometimes a mid-carder can be in a main event, and whether they don't have, say, the heavyweight championship was vacated, well, the second championship could be the main event. So mid-carders are basically wrestlers that are in between the upper level and the lower level of championships. Some great mid-carders of my time I would love to mention. I'm wearing his shirt right now. It's Roddy Piper. He was the Intercontinental Champion. He beat the Mountie. He was also a Tag Team Champion in his mid-50s, believe it or not, with Ric Flair. And, woo! And there could be there's many Intercontinental Champions. There's the model Rick Martel. He was a TV champion.
Kurt Hennig,
Mr. Perfect.
Owen Hart.
The list goes on and on. Ravishing Rick Rude, Razor Ramon. Those are all mid-card champions. Goldust, believe it or not, was a mid-card champion. He was a great Intercontinental champion. He was a tag team champion, hardcore champion. Never won the big one, but those are mid-card championship guys. Next one we're going to talk about is main eventers, which I mentioned about mid-carders. Main eventer is a wrestler who competes in the main events, typically among the biggest stars in the promotion, and considered to be, either a draw or just a headliner. Like Shawn Michaels, He was the headliner.
The showstopper.
The showstopper.
Mr. WrestleMania.
Mr. WrestleMania, of course. So that is another. Whoops. That's another. I got a little excited when I said Shawn Michaels. Undertaker. That's another main eventer. Yes, of course. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, all these legendaries. John Cena is the creme de la creme of headliners. Seth Rollins. The list goes on and on for headliners.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The Rock.
The new face of 2K16.
Heck yeah.
Guys, you got to remember the most important top guy. Buff Bagwell.
Buff Bagwell. That one, he was a mid-carder,
man.
actually. Buff
I know.
Bagwell.
Well,
I liked him a lot.
okay, I got a better one. Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I loved
One of
him
the
with-
better mid-carders.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was a great Intercontinental
He
champion.
was a top guy, though.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
he
thing.
lost to China.
Only man to ever lose his Intercontinental title to a woman, by the way.
Well, Chris Jericho.
Did he? Really?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jericho. Y2J. What happened to Y2J anyway? He kind of just came back and then
He's-
left.
He's focused on his band right now.
Yeah, Fozzy. I think
Okay.
he might be retiring soon.
Possibly.
I know he's only working house shows right now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
But that is it for today for Tony's terminology.
And that wraps it up tonight for Armbar. Thank you so much for
Shout-outs.
listening,
Don't forget
guys.
shout-outs, Isaac.
Gotta
You
give
always
our
forget
shout-outs. Whoa. Settle down, guys. Settle down. All right. Gotta give our shout-outs. So shout-outs to all of y'all listening. Specifically shout-outs to my beautiful wife, Linda Vasquez. I love you so much. Can't wait to eat those wings when I get home.
Me, shout-outs to mom and dad, my family out there. If you're listening, I love you guys very much. Like I said last week, the UTPA crew, the people that are in and out of the studio, writing stories, editing videos for countless hours to put on good newscasts for you guys. I think you guys work very, very hard every single week, and I just want to give you guys a major shout-out, so kudos to you.
I want to give a major shout out to my wife, Liza. I love you, honey. Thank you for supporting us in this radio station. I want to give you a shout out to my dad. I love you, Dad. Mom, I love you once again. Happy birthday. Highly deserved. I'm glad you're enjoying the food that we've been cooking for you.
Whoa, breaking news, guys. We got some breaking news. Tony,
What?
you have a pretty big announcement.
Yes. In a few months, I might be going into the squared circle.
What?
In the future. But I got to keep training. I got to keep dropping weight. So who knows? You might see me there about maybe 34, 40 pounds thinner and in better shape. But right now, I'm just going to stick to commentating. But one day, I'll be there.
Wrestling Revolution.
Wrestling
right?
Revolution.
Yeah, in the near future.
We'll be your
the
biggest
Lebanese
fans.
suplex machine, man.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna be right there with the signs. First day.
One more shout out, guys, and I got to give congrats to Tony on that. That was big news that he told us
Congrats,
yesterday.
Tony.
I know it's a
Alright.
big dream of yours to get into the squared circle, man. So I want to back you up on much as that as I can.
Definitely. Team Armbar is
Major
always here
support,
for you.
yeah,
Here.
major
yeah.
support. We're gonna be your biggest fans. But one more shout out. I know Tony was talking about this last week. The Horta sisters.
Yeah, the
okay?
Hortas. They're always liking our stuff. They're always like
Julie,
Iris.
Iris, and Elijah. I think that's their names.
I think.
And you know, maybe if they're watching, if they're listening, if we can get you guys in on the show one of these weeks, that would be great. You guys are liking
Maybe
our
even a
stuff.
phone interview, man.
Yeah, maybe a phone interview or something. I
But
know
like,
guys are
thank you
from
so
Rio.
much. Like, you guys seem to be like our biggest supporters outside of our immediate families. So, thank you so much for that.
Thank
like,
you. Thank you,
know,
ladies.
spread the words around. Spread the word around, guys. Like, you want to get a shout out, make sure you support our page. That's facebook.com/UTPA Armbar, and you can follow us on Twitter at UTPA_Armbar. But
We have a business card now, guys.
yeah, we have and
Yes,
a
we
poster
do,
and a poster. Mike, why didn't you bring in the posters? Why
I
you
did not bring in
Come
the
on, Mike.
poster.
It's like I have to be doing all the work
Should
here.
I get it for you guys?
No,
real
it's
quick?
fine. Don't
I'm
worry
gonna
about
get
it.
really quick.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening to this week's edition of Armbar. Please like our page. Please follow us on social media. Mike's getting the poster here on camera.
There you go.
I designed all the material. I'm the graphic designer for the crew. So remember, guys, hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. Thank you
Armbar,
so much
baby.
for listening.
KCYP LP 97.7 FM, Mission McAllen.